So guys, today's best of episode is dedicated to the note of honey in perfumery, and I've been recently really obsessed with it. That's why I came up with this fantastic top 15 list of honey perfumes that smell differently, but honey is a main player in all of them. So if it's your favorite note or you're looking for some new fragrances with it, make sure to keep on watching this video. But before we get started, I would like to ask everyone who is new here to subscribe to my channel and please give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoy watching these best of episodes, more of which you will find in the playlist that will be linked down below in the description box. So feel free to check that out, and once you're done with that, we can also get started. Welcome everyone to the last but not least best of episode this year, which is about honey, and I thought it's a perfect note for the festive month of December, during which we eat treats anyway, and honey is known for its sweet and delicious aroma and taste. So let me know if you like honey in food. I personally adore it, which is pretty logical because I grew up sort of on a bee farm because my grandpa was a beekeeper, so I'm very much familiar with the gorgeous scent of the real honey, and I would say that if it is done wrong in perfumery it can be cloying, but if it's done correctly it is the best. So it is surely one of my personal biggest favorites when it comes to gourmand notes. I would like to know how about you, and if you know a great honey scent, please share it down below in the commentary section, because thanks to that, we can actually extend this list, which I will open with a fantastic perfume from NAOMI GOODSIR that is called SERAIL. And to me, this one smells like a fruit jam. You know, it's not about fresh fruits, but it's not about dry fruits either. It smells like fruity jam, maybe out of cranberries. There is actually a note of mango too, and so it smells tropical as well. And it's kind of fresh, and at the same time it's very deep. There is room, so a very light booziness is there, but it's not a full-on booze scent. Also, there is honey and beeswax, so the honey accord is quite complex. There is a hint of tobacco and coconut for this fuzziness in the background, and overall the fragrance has a very luminous, a very sunny and happy energy. It's like a liquid golden honey in a bottle that I feel great with and love to wear in the autumn time, you know, to fight those fall blues. And I really recommend it to everyone who loves more oriental, deeper, sort of like sweet but not truly gourmand scents, like let's say in the style of Back to Black by Kilian or even Fan Your Flames by Nishane. This is a true masterpiece that was actually created by Bertrand de Chauffour, who is surely not a perfumer that is known for bad creations. Instead, he is a master of perfumery, and this is another hit from him that I recommend to everyone because it lasts long, it projects nicely, but it is rather about really nice and beautiful sillage and great longevity than this beastly projection, which I prefer in the performance anyway. Alrighty then, let's move on to really sweet honey. I think this is honey for those who can't get enough of it, and it was my blind buy from MONTALE, which is Sweet Oriental Dream. And I feel like the name of this scent matches its scent profile perfectly, because it doesn't even smell of honey. It smells like Turkish delight, it smells like oriental dessert, it smells like almond drink. It smells like honeyed water, but it's not watery. It is so long lasting. Literally, this one lasts forever, and it smells sweet and quite linear, so it's not as complex as, let's say, SERAIL is. And if you like lacum, I mean like the dessert and the fragrance from Keiko Masheri, I think you will really enjoy this. It's just a really beautiful, thick and long-lasting gourmand that reminds me of sugared honey, you know, when it gets crystallized. Well, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting out of it, because in the dry down it turns really sweet, the powderiness of almond calms down, and then you will get sugar honey. But let's talk about something more complex and darker, which is not only my favorite, but actually is Benny's favorite Gourmand, and I'm talking about Toscanello by Profumi del Forte. And you've already heard me talking about it, Benny has already mentioned it on my channel, but when it comes to honey, I totally need to mention it again, because oh wow, this is your very grown-up, very mature gourmand. That is gourmand, but you know, honey in here is not the main note. It is in the company of cacao pod and coffee, milk, tobacco, but there is also hay and tea, and for some strange reason I can smell coffee and tea. It's like in the same drink with hot milk and rum. And on the other side, sometimes it reminds me of these bonbons that look like coffee, that are like coffee beans. Outside they are covered into dark chocolate, and inside there is a liquid rum that is sweetened by honey. Wow, that is super delicious. Benny receives compliments every time he wears it, and this is definitely for those who love gourmands but would like them to be on the more mysterious and darker side. And once again, honey is in there, but it's nothing too overwhelming. Alrighty then, let's talk about fresher type of honey, and this is my floral choice for this video, and just a wonderful scent from the indie brand Sammarco that's called Daria. And I remember how Giovanni Sammarco presented it at Petit Fragrance, because that was his take on the beautiful white flower of gardenia, and you guys, it smells exactly like it. Also fruity and very juicy. Honey in here is like a flower that smells like honey and juicy fruit. Also, it smells like some kind of beautiful flower that you see somewhere and you've never ever had an idea about it, so you are immediately drawn to smell it, and then it is so good that you just became addicted and can't stop. Honestly, such a beautiful, everyday time friendly scent. Not even for those who love white florals, but if you do, this is a must try, you guys. Very easy to wear during the day. I have been wearing it for work for the last couple of weeks getting ready for this video, and it is just fantastic. Very daytime appropriate, and in case you're wondering where you can get it from, that would be Equation Natural. Awesome place for those who love niche and indie perfumery, and I even have a discount for you with which you can save some money, so make sure to check out the description box. There you will find some helpful links. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about blooming honey trees. So Daria was like a blooming honey flower. Now let's talk about the tree, something even more extravagant. And this is perfume from Pearlescent Perfumes called Baklava. And although it refers to the baklava dessert that you know is super thick and is like honey in and out, to me it smells like late spring, and all the trees and flowers are blooming and bees are flying everywhere and gathering that nectar that later they transform into honey. Well, this is exactly the vibe of baklava. I get more of neroli, of citruses like sweet orange and bergamot, of cherry, than, you know, that thick honey and baklava, pistachio and almond. And it's just so spring and beautiful and uplifting, and I feel so great wearing it. Like, honestly, it's a phenomenal scent with very beautiful sillage, and one of the top recommendations today, guys, because it's not like honey in your face, but honey is in there, and even baklava vibe is in there. But I really enjoy like these acacia trees that remind me of my childhood that I can smell in the perfume too. So that's a really good one when it comes to honey. But something else, something a bit darker, a bit thicker, that is honey and great as well, is actually one of my newest purchases. And ever since it was first launched, I've been really curious about it because of all the notes like tobacco leaf, sour cherry, honey, chocolate, cinnamon, oud, amber, vanilla, different balms, rose and hazelnut. Come on, it seemed like only right, and I was so pleased by Kayali's Invite Only Amber. That's why I've already mentioned in a couple of my latest videos and I still can't get enough of it. This is such a wonderful scent that smells a little bit boozy, that smells spicy, that smells smoky. That reminds me of, you know, one of my most favorite ambery perfumes that also has this jammy rose boozy vibe, Ambre Nuit from Dior, and at the same time it gives me tobacco vanille vibes by Tom Ford, but it's not like that because there is something from Fifty Delicious as well. However, this is the fragrance on its own. It's so well blended. It's like a spicy honey with all these additional notes, so it is very complex. And if you would like those three blended in one, hello, this is fantastic. And I have been wearing it almost every night ever since I got it, and I'm still not bored of it. So it is phenomenal, darker, very cold time appropriate, and also if you're going out, spray this generously and people will be really attracted to you because it smells, you know, not like your typical Gourmand, yet there is this sweetness that just makes people, I don't know, come closer, ask you about your fragrance, get friends with you, ask you for your number, and definitely which fragrance are you wearing and get it afterwards. I'm so obsessed and I can't recommend it enough. This is a gorgeous scent, a very, very nice one. Have I already said it's great? Yeah. Did you get me? Yeah. But anyway, talking about boozy scents, the booziest one, also with honey, and in it, honey is actually more noticeable in Invite Only Amber, which is rather like ambery and rosy and tobacco and oud, would be SLOWDIVE from Gallagher Fragrances, which is pretty popular, you know, in the indie circle, and only for a good reason, because this fragrance is like nothing but delicious sweet red wine and brown sugar with almost like Turkish rose oil in it, or maybe even like dark rose petals floating in the sweet wine. I mean, like, how delicious is that, guys? Also, I get a lot of dry, crisp apple and plum nuances, so it smells rather like dry fruits, it smells like red wine, it is really boozy, honey in there is just what gives it sweetness. And anytime I go out at night in the winter and I want perfume that will last, no matter what, no matter how long I'll be out, that would be it. And I know that many reviewers talk about it. I still find that it is such a great unisex scent that will be appealed to everyone because, hello, it's boozy, and what is better than a great boozy perfume? I don't know. You tell me. But you know what? In this video, I totally needed to mention my ride or die scent that I'm raving about all the time on my channel, which is also the most successful blind buy of my life, and that is Oh My Soul by 4160 Tuesdays, guys, which you've probably already heard me talking about many times, but here we go again. This is a masterfully blended, not the easiest, but absolutely wonderful scent because it is boozy and it is smoky and it is sweet and it is fresh and just oriental, and once I called better than Shalimar, and I feel like that says it all. So this perfume is quite complex, and I would say that if you are feeling adventurous to discover this brand, you should get a sample of this and a few other perfumes, because although it is so enjoyable and probably it can put me in a great mood better than any other perfume in my collection, and it's among my top 10 favorites, it's not, you know, like your basic scent, because it's quite complex. However, so harmoniously blended by Sarah McCartney, who was inspired by the Facebook group Oh My Soul, in which fragrance lovers, all the members, could vote for their favorite fragrances, and not fragrances, notes, and Sarah put all of them in there, really found the perfect balance, and honestly, you guys, it's like a group hug, warm, amazing, like, oh, love it. But honey in there is not too noticeable. It's not like a honey perfume, okay? It's just a very complex, beautiful signature scent, my signature scent, so of course I need to rave about it. And yes, it's an OG favorite that I always recommend you to try, and here I go one more time. But not an OG favorite and a new fragrance in my collection that I'm already in love with is new release from RENIER Perfumes that is called Delicious, and this is such a cool and fun one, guys, because honey in there is almost like competing with other gourmand notes like dark chocolate and burnt orange. So it smells like very dark chocolate with orange pieces inside and dry fruits. So imagine dry apricot, dry plum, and they have honey inside. So you bite in and the outside of the fruit is really soft, and inside there is the sweet honey, super delicious, but it's a dark gourmand. It's actually an animalic one, because civet and castoreum, oh my god, normally they're sitting somewhere quietly in the background, not disturbing, not even being noticeable, but in delicious, oh my god, they are like, we wanna play too. And all the other notes, they're like, all right, come to us here at the back, the front row. So this is an animalic gourmand. If you love animalic scents, here you go. Check out my review, check out this fragrance, whether from the official website or Equation Natural. Use my discount. Here you go. You're welcome, because for the night out, I don't know what could be sexier than a great animalic gourmand. And we don't have enough of those anyway. Would you agree? Or do you know a good one? If so, tell me about it in the comments. And while you're doing so, I will tell you about a perfume that I've been dreaming about for a long time and finally got it. Actually, it has arrived today, so it's perfect time to film this video. And it's not even the perfume, it is a sublime oil from Francesca Bianchi in the scent Dark Side, and I have a sample of it, and I've been wearing it for years, spraying it on my robe before going to bed. And as you know, or those who are familiar with Francesca Bianchi scents know that her fragrances are very potent. They smell a bit vintage, animalic, dark, deep, rich. And Dark Side has always appealed to me because it's like sweet and very powdery, almost lipsticky and smoky. So it's relaxing before going to bed. I was really intrigued by these oils that I got from Equation Natural as two next fragrances that I have in the sample format. So these can be applied, you know, on the hair and just on the body, everywhere. It smells so luxurious. I'm very excited to play with this. But these next two fragrances I received as samples, which I requested from Equation Natural team. And you can do that, you know, if you buy something from them, you can actually go for samples of your choice. And for this video, I thought it would be appropriate to talk about pretty popular fragrance when it comes to indie world from the HIRAM Green that creates natural perfumes. And this is his Slowdive. And it's not necessarily about honey, okay, it's rather about beeswax. So it smells like raw honey, like inside of the bee's house. You smell everything in here, including dry fruits, including some very interesting flowers, which are very interesting and very creative and very artistic, like tobacco blossom. I really smell there is something dark and floral in there, and also a little bit oldish smelling, like resins, like amber resins. You know that jewelry made out of amber? I'm reminded of that when I smell this. And for a natural perfume, it is quite long lasting, and for me it is a little bit like sad and mysterious, and I really like to wear it in the winter time, as the majority of these. And the next perfume is also a sample, and I know that some people really like it. However, I personally cannot really pull it out myself because it is too churchy smelling for me. And I'm talking about Bengale Rouge by Papillon Perfumes. Well, it's about sweet myrrh, about honeyed myrrh. It smells like church, it smells mysterious, it smells dark. If you have it, please tell me how you find it and what is it that you like about it. But for me, it's just a little bit too heavy, and something lighter, something brighter, something that I've been actually really enjoying and purchased like years ago and I'm still wearing is a designer fragrance which you probably did not expect to see today, and it's Donna Karan's Nectar Love. And it definitely smells like nectar. There is a note of nectarine that smells sunny and summery. There are other very light floral notes and beeswax with Mirabelle plum. So it's a very crisp scent that smells like shower gel a little bit, or maybe honey scented shampoo. And I love to wear it all year round. It performs really nicely when it's cold or when it's warm. It's just like a beautiful designer honey fragrance It is very light yet long lasting, and it is very nice to wear it. So these two are probably the lightest and the most suitable for daytime and just everyday basis, because they are just very universal, you know. They are not too heavy, they are about honey, but they are not as thick as some other perfumes in this style can be. For example, let's talk about Patchouli Koja by Nishani, because this is super intense stuff. I cannot really wear it often. Honestly, it's probably the least worn perfume from my collection, because I spray it only when it is very cold, guys. And I'm talking like it's snowing, it's cold and nothing lasts, and then I would spray this, and only a little bit, because it is really sweet and smoky and leathery, and patchouli in here is like, okay, this is patchouli of all patchoulis. So yeah, it's my winter scent. It smells like the inside of the very religious person's house. Does that make sense? Like where people burn incense all the time, where they don't open the windows a lot, where they have leather furniture, a lot of wood too, and who love delicious treats, because you know the sweetness is there too. It's like sweet honey smoke, if you will. And if you love patchouli, it's the one for you. And you can get Nishani fragrances at So Avant-Garde web shop. Link is going to be below, as well as my coupon code, which you can use and shop even for other popular niche fragrances over there. And the final fragrance for today is sort of like an honorable mention, because I don't have a bottle with me, although I tried to get tobacco roll from Dior for this video, but I didn't manage to, because it is very expensive, and well, I'm sort of on a budget. But I really hope that I will soon get it, at least this winter, because although it was on my Christmas wish list, Santa probably thought that I was naughty this year. Anyway, this is a phenomenal, super smoky scent. It is really smoky, guys. Like there is actually a note of smoke. There is tobacco too. It is sort of tobacco-ish. Like, it's like more tobacco than honey, but it is smoky like hell in the opening. It's like burnt smoke. You spray it on like crazy. What has Dior done? Wow, so brave, you know, so creative. I loved it, especially the dry down, because it calms down a little bit the peachiness in there with this honey aspect. It's you know, like it's about honeyed everything: honeyed smoke, honeyed tobacco, honeyed citruses and fruits, honeyed floral notes and oriental notes. It's a wonderful scent. Honestly, if you can get it, because it is long lasting and just wonderful. And once again, I hope that I will get that one. And with that being said, that was all for today's top 15 list of my most favorite honey perfumes, which I should probably sum up for you in the end, right? Because it was a longer type of video. So here we go again. These are the most honeyed ones out of all mentioned: Rose Al Daya by Gallagher Fragrances, Boozy Honey, Sweet Oriental Dream by MONTALE, Sugar Honey, Delicious by RENIER Perfumes, Animalic Honey, Daria by Samarco, Honey that smells like a flower, Donna Karan's Nectar Love, which is shower jelly fresh type of a honey scent, or the SERAIL by NAOMI GOODSIR, Jammy Honey, PROFUMI del Forte's Toscanello, Thick Milky Honey, and Pearlescent Perfumes Baklava, honey that smells like blossoming trees. So you guys, if you have a favorite honey perfume too, please share it down below and let me know which out of all mentioned ones appeal to you the most and you are excited to check out. And what do you think about honey in general? Because I had so much fun filming this video for you and actually matching my outfit to the topic of the video, as I usually do. I went for a bee look. I even painted my nails with these matte yellow tips and put on yellow eyeliner. So please let me know how I did, and if you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and of course don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well as activate that bell so you will be notified when I post the next best of episode. And you can actually request notes you want me to discuss in the future ones. So I'm always very open to your suggestions and I'm excited to hear about your ideas. So don't be shy, let's chat. And of course, if you have any questions regarding mentioned perfumes or anything else, I'm here to answer that. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out the description box down below for all the helpful information that I've mentioned during this video, and of course where you can find me on social media so we can stay in touch and communicate with you. And that was all from me today. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and stay tuned and smell good. We'll see each other next one really soon. Bye guys.